My wife and I are building this house in Siem Reap, Cambodia. Today, I'm going to tell you everything that you need to know about this entire process, including the big pitfalls that you need to be aware of. So if you are someone that is considering owning any sort of real estate in Cambodia, be sure to watch this entire video. I'll address some of the common concerns first. By law, foreign citizens cannot own land in Cambodia. There are multiple ways around this, and I think the easiest one is to get a representative to hold the land for you and write up a contract that gives you all of the economic rights to that land. So in my particular case, I used my wife to own the land, but I have the exclusive rights to live on it, build on it, rent it, and so on. Now, will this contract be enforceable in a court of law? I'm not a lawyer, so I can't say that I'm 100% sure, but the reputable firm that wrote it up for me says that it is. If you want me to make another video that goes into the finer details of how this kind of contract works, then drop a comment below. But what most people don't understand is that the real estate market in Cambodia is highly illiquid. In other words, the volume of real estate transactions is extremely low. When you're looking at property listings, often you will see stuff that's been on the market for multiple years. In spite of that, in many cases, the owner of the property will not be willing to negotiate on the selling price very much. There is a massive spread between what people are willing to buy for and sell for. That means regardless of whether you're a buyer or a seller, it can take a very long time to find and complete a transaction at a fair price. Because of that, there is no such thing as a house flipper in Cambodia. As a buyer, the best way to find a good deal is to find a seller that is desperate, someone who owes the bank a lot of money and they need to sell their property now. That is what gives the buyer the negotiating leverage that they need. Lastly, and this is very important, there is not really much in the way of legal protections for buyers and sellers of property. There's no such thing as an escrow service or title insurance. When you do a real estate transaction, I hate to say it, but a lot of it is done on the honor system. There is also no such thing as a real estate license. That means that you need to be a hard ass about any of your real estate dealings. Do not give someone money unless you are signing some sort of ironclad contract that you know is enforceable. In the event of any disagreement, going to court will be very expensive and should only be done as a last resort. I want to make myself absolutely clear. Cambodia is the wild east of real estate, so to speak. There are many ways that a deal can go horribly wrong, and it is not hard to find someone with a horror story. So, what should you do about all of this? In my opinion, you're better off just renting. I've had a flawless experience living in my current apartment. The landlord is nice, our rent is highly affordable at $250 a month, and he hasn't raised the rent at all in the 3 years that I've been here. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. It's easy for someone that lives in America, for example, to think that owning your house over the long term is universally better than being a renter, but that's not the case in every part of the world. Well, doesn't that make me a hypocrite then? Here I am. I'm a guy who's building a house, telling you that you should just rent. Well, I'm here to tell you that I've been through the whole process of writing up a contract, buying land, building a house on it, and it's a ton of hassle. And I just don't think it's worth it. The whole thing has put a significant amount of stress on my life and my marriage, and for what? So that we can brag to people that we own the house that we live in. As you might be able to tell, doing this whole thing was my wife's idea. Many people have the attitude that all wealth is tangible, and this attitude is even more prevalent in the East. They don't understand what stocks and bonds are, but they understand what land and gold is. People without land and gold can be looked down upon in this kind of society. As for me, I'm a minimalist. I believe that a simpler life is a happier life. But I'm sure you guys are getting sick of my negativity, so let's talk about some of the benefits of owning this house. It's going to have some first world amenities like an electric oven and a dishwasher, which don't come in a standard apartment here. Obviously, when you build a house, you also get to design every detail of that house so that it matches your tastes. I let my wife do most of that because I'm not too picky. This house is going to have 2 bedrooms and 2 bathrooms, and we went with the 2-story design to save space on our land. With that extra space, we plan to grow some fruits and vegetables. I've never been too good at that sort of thing, but my wife is, and I really do enjoy fresh fruit. I'm hoping to get some mangoes, pineapples, and jackfruit in particular. Most of that stuff is already super cheap, so I don't think it'll save us a ton of money, but I hope it'll give my wife and I a fun side project at the very least. The surrounding view here is really nice, and the lotus pond across the street is a nice extra touch. The neighborhood is kind of what I'd call a suburb in that we're very close to the city, but we get some nice green and aesthetic views from our balcony. Definitely the kind of area that I like to live in. This is probably not relevant to most people, but owning a house also does make it easier for someone to get a visa to go visit a wealthier country. Cambodia does not have a strong passport, but owning a house, even though I'm technically the one who has the economic rights to it, owning that house should increase my wife's chances of being granted a visa to whatever country we want to visit in the future. You could also argue that buying a property is a good way to hedge against potential future rent increases. Right now, inflation is almost zero, and housing costs in particular are at a historic low in this part of the world, but that could change at any time. Now, a digital nomad could just leave the moment that things get too expensive, but I've already gotten married and sort of put down roots at this point. In total, this house is going to cost about $70,000 to save what was previously $250 a month in rent, while also upgrading our lifestyle a bit. Do you all think that trade-off is worth it? The house should be finished in about a month, so I'll be sure to drop any important updates as we go. I just pray that my wife and I soon reach the end of this journey without any further complications. Maybe next time I'll show you guys what the house looks like after it's all finished and give you a mini tour of the neighborhood. Regardless of how things go, there's always one positive, which is that you all will be able to learn from my experience. I've heard people from all sides of the house debate. Some people think that owning a house is the greatest thing ever, whereas others will say that doing it in a less developed country like Cambodia is just a disaster waiting to happen. As with most things, the truth probably lies somewhere in the middle. Have you ever been curious what traditional life is like for villagers in Cambodia? If you want to know, then you should watch this video over here.